up and sit down.
Yes, everybody, what's going on? Stephen Howson, Ben Adams, Meat Pie, Sunday night. How are you all doing? How are you doing?
All right. You?
I'm all right. Moving to your new gaff.
Yeah, 2 weeks now. I think, just over 2 weeks.
It's been a long old time coming.
6 months. Just 6 months. So I've had an house full of kids this weekend. All like related. Just put that out there.
Oh, God, the internet's going to do what the internet does. Hello, everybody. Yeah. We're going to get into the comments later and talk to you guys. Meat Pie is going to start developing into a bit of a Premier League roundup kind of show. Like Match of the Day for people that aren't proper. I'm trying to think of a kind word. It's just like a better version of Match of the Day, really, isn't it? Less Danny Murphy.
Bit more profanity.
Probably a lot more profanity.
Although we're allowed to use profanity. You know, I got told off last time.
Yeah, probably. I'd say last time it was like a 10 out of 10, wasn't it, really? It was full on. Like, you'd proper got out of bed the wrong side, I think, last time it was on. How's everybody doing in the chat and everybody joining us live? Thank you guys for joining us live. Please give the video a like. We're going for 500 likes on this video today, and I know and I believe in you guys. I think we can get there. I'm also this close to 60,000 subscribers. We're on 869.
Still begging for that.
Of course I am. If we get to 60,000 during this show, I'll give a United shirt away on Monday night after the Spurs game in United Review. And you can join us on there if you wish. So get the likes up, get the subscribes in. If we get to 60,000 today, we are on, just so everybody is aware, 59,869. So we are this close, 131 away from it. So if we can do that during the course of this show, I'll give away a United shirt on Monday for you guys. And we will come to the comments in a bit. So we're going to talk about some of the top points from the Premier League games. We're going to talk about, obviously, Zidane and Jose Mourinho. What's going on there? Because there's definitely something going on there. We'll cover a little bit of United. We'll show you what happened when we played five-a-side a couple of weeks ago.
Again? Was it the same one?
The second half of that same game. I know what you're thinking. Some top-draw football being played right here. So let's get into it then. So Liverpool hired a throwing coach.
I think Benjamin Mendy needs a throwing coach as well, doesn't he?
I saw something from a referee which is like foul throws is the most like a misinterpreted rule in football, which I find hard to believe. I'm sure there's more misinterpreted rules, but that's interesting. What sort of, I mean, on one hand you go, well, you should be looking for every advantage you go for.
That's his plan B now, isn't it?
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Long throw.
Wonder what Rory Delap's doing nowadays. Does anyone in the comments know what Rory Delap's doing? Yeah, he probably knows.
He can throw it. Okay.
I don't know. Can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he was after the lap.
Do you reckon they had like specialist like throwing sessions? Right, lads, line up, get your towels out.
Get that guy from Iran, innit?
What's your thoughts on that then, anyway? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's quite funny. I think if it was United, we'd get wrecked for it. But I think if you're a coach, then you're not doing your homework because it's a set piece.
If you're a coach just on throw-ins, like how do you think? Like, do you know what? I don't really fancy doing attacking.
Everybody needs a niche.
I'm gonna do specialise in throwing it in.
I wonder if he's got like diagrams and shit.
Yeah, we'll have, won't we?
But you think? Does anybody know off the top of your head? Can you have a quick Google? How many throw-ins is there in a game? Because I reckon there's probably a lot of attacking throw-ins. You could probably get a lot of stuff off, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the old get a player stand in front of you, throw it on his back, then you play it off the floor. I mean, that's a real easy way to get out of danger when you're doing a throw-in. I think Giggs and Rooney did it once. Used to have Jaden's team doing it all the time. Opposition sideline absolutely lose their mind when you do it, and you're like, referee's like, you need to check the rules and calm down, everybody. All right, get rid of that off the screen. We'll finish talking about him. The other bit of news that we're going to talk about is Roman Abramovich, rumoured to be selling Chelsea for $2 billion.
$2 billion.
It does look like he's lost love with it a little bit, doesn't it?
You'd say so, but he just got rid of Conte and bought in Sarri, didn't he?
I think he likes sacking new managers, man. Or sacking managers.
Maybe, but he's then going sanctions to spend more money, like Jorginho and whoever else he signed. Who else did they sign this summer?
Who else did you sign? No. Chelsea fan in the corner hasn't got a clue who they signed.
Other than Jorginho. You signed a fucking new key. Yeah, well, yeah, you're just training him up, aren't you? Signed a new keeper. 72 million.
Keeper called Kepa.
To say that he's losing interest, I don't know. He didn't get his visa, has he?
Yeah, that's
his residency and stuff. So you think, why would you?
True story.
Yeah, he has done a lot for him.
We're over 100 likes. We're going for 500. So if you're sitting there watching, going, oh, everyone else will like it, just take ownership, do it yourself. With all this that's going on with the different ownership, obviously, there was a rumour that Liverpool was subject to a bid from Sheikh Mansour's cousin as well for about $2 billion. He rejected it.
Yeah, I can see that. They're probably in it for the long haul, aren't they now?
The FSG group, yeah.
They've got plenty of till, them, aren't they?
Fenway Sports Group, is that what it stands for?
Yeah, they own Boston
Red Sox.
Yeah, that one of them shit American sports.
Rounders. So I think it's interesting to see what goes on, because I think United are in the predicament where we actually do need the Glazers to sell before we're going to really see anything going forward. You've got to say what FSG are doing at the moment, what Abramovich used to do, what Sheikh Mansour is doing. All of them are going, we want the best. We're going to back our guy, and we want the best. Who's the best at this? Who's the best at that? And they're going for excellence. They want to deliver titles. They want to deliver Champions Leagues.
Well, the Glazers when you've got all the money in the world, like what do? You don't just go thinking, how can I make more money out of this club?
Exactly, which is what we've got, where the owners go, how can we extract the most financially out of this, just by doing enough to stay competitive on the pitch? We've had briefings from Woodward at the shareholders meetings where he says, winning titles doesn't change what we do. So it's not a goal, and you're like, whoa, because as fans, that's all we live for.
Yeah, but you don't care about the fans, does he?
No, and I think this is the fundamental difference. You've got, in Jose Mourinho, you've got an extreme win at all costs kind of manager, and a board and a CEO that are top four at all costs sort of mentality. And they're going to have arguments, and I think Jose's negativity, the more I think of it and the more you look into it, I think this is just a symptom of what's happening. There's my guy in the comments here just going mad that people think I've left Full-Time Devils. One, I haven't left Full-Time Devils, and every single one of us at Full-Time Devils has got our own stuff. No one made you click this video, and I tell you what, I'm going to ban you so you can fuck off. How about that? No problems, no more. Bye-bye. So I think that's the big thing is the mentality. Glazers, Woodward, looking to just maintain this top four status. Jose obviously.
But why? Yeah, but it just don't get me why. I mean, I guess he's probably why he puts out the brief. He's like, oh, we can do this, we can do that about big money signings, blah blah blah. I guess it only helps for investment purposes. But he's making fake statements. They did. The share price was the highest it's been, hasn't it?
I don't get that. But also, there's only a very very tiny amount of shares available. And they can be manipulated quite simply, I think, and they're not
proper Class A shares.
No. My guy in the comments saying, you're always making excuses for Jose, it's coming on 3 years. We need this, I think he means we need this regime taken out ASAP. What you've got to think of, mate, is Jose came second. He came second to a team that got 100 points. The football wasn't pretty. Jose's secondary. Look, it doesn't matter if the football's pretty. You're judged on results at the end of the day. We beat all the
top six last year.
We did.
It's just the games against like Newcastle away, Brighton away,
Huddersfield, West Brom.
Burnley at home, Southampton at home, and it was just dull, like proper dull.
I think I think that is the issue. Is that it hasn't been entertaining, but I think entertainment comes second to success. Now, second isn't success. But it was the best that we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson left. If it's not Jose, who do you think is going to come in? And we're going to talk about Zidane later on.
Yeah, I don't know. When you watch the game, you don't seem to be that intensity there.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
I was watching, a few games with Wolves. Even, other teams aside from the obvious like Liverpool and City who like play high press. Like a lot of teams, they do like harry the ball and they'll have two going. But United, it seems to be like it's easy just to pass it around them, and then we
allow the ball in certain areas to restrict in other areas. It's just completely different philosophies, isn't there? And if everyone's doing one thing, the team that does do something, Jose Mourinho was doing something different back in the day.
We're still doing He's still doing now, and he obviously brought Carrick in and it's called McKenna.
Yeah, we don't know yet, and I haven't spoken to anyone who can tell me what exactly they're doing. I'm trying to find the word on like what's the input they're having.
Still
or
nothing
are
come
they
out
still...
about like the old dude, is it? Rui Farah?
I don't know how much public this is, but they had a falling out, royal falling out, and I think the public reason for him leaving is he wanted to spend time with his family, but there's also they actually fell out over what?
Which is mad, really, because he's been at his side since day dot, really.
Forever, yeah.
So whether he's getting the pressure then to be changing his style, because he's been his same old self up until like I think either the season or the first game of the season. Then he was like praising people, and he was giving him that boost.
Do you think it was because he realised that he's going to have to work with them for the whole season now, where there might have been a chance that they was probably going before that?
Possibly, but he's been doing that. Well, yeah, because he's been digging them out all last season as well. So maybe, yeah, but
because it looks like Anthony Marshall's going to stay, and I'm pretty shocked at that, to be honest, because of Tony's. Think about how to phrase this. Tony's own words are saying he doesn't want to be a. I assume because of the manager. I don't know it's because of the manager, but I assume it's because of the manager. So I'm shocked. Tony's basically been going around saying he's going to a new club or he wants a new club. So the fact that he's still going to be here...
It's the creative players, isn't it? It's the restricting the creativity, I think. I think that would be the issue. With his winning mentality, that's not a problem, I don't think. I think it's the fact that, maybe playing within yourself or not being allowed to express yourself.
I think the playing within yourselves is a valid criticism. I think there's so much more to come from our players. But when I look at that Brighton game, if I'm marking Jose Mourinho alone, not what happened on the pitch, but what did he do to influence it, I go, okay, we conceded 3 goals from 3 shots on target. David De Gea needs to take responsibility for some of those, if not all of those. Jose Mourinho picked a starting 11.
The first one, you can't really say.
That's what I said, some if not all. Right? The starting 11 was good enough to beat Brighton on paper.
Penalty was one.
He made substitutions at half-time which you can't say were negative.
No.
He took off a number 6, put attacking players on, and he went for it. So, at what point did the players take...
Yeah, but he didn't really go for it in the sense where, like, we never looked like scoring in that second half.
We didn't.
So you can't really say we went for it.
But is that down to Jose or the players? Why is Jose the guy that gets all the stick and the players just get told they're amazing and they'd play for somebody else?
I don't know, because maybe it's like because obviously they play to orders. Everyone at our level does, don't it? If you start deviating from the plan, then
you get binned rapid.
Then you're getting binned off, and you're not playing next week. Someone will go in there. So you're going out to implement the manager's instructions all the time, like to a T, for the most part. The amount of like tactics that go in and the work preparation for the game on that, you're drilled to do this, and obviously they're not happy with it, I would say.
No, and I wonder at what point do we see the influence of McKenna and Carrick on that attacking play, because from what I hear of Jose Mourinho, he's a very meticulous preparation sort of manager in terms of what the opposition are going to do, and I get that, and I think you can see that at times. We nullify opposition threats pretty well by and large. The criticism of Jose Mourinho's teams, which I think is fair, is that they can be a bit rigid in the final third, and that's where you'd hope the likes of Carrick with his football brain and what McKenna did with the under-18s and previously with Spurs could have an influence there, but is it too soon to see that?
The movement's non-existent.
Yep.
Non-existent whatsoever. It's just like, I think, it's just, what's he waiting for? Some like individual brilliance, but then
I think he does.
But then he discourages individual brilliance, so it's like, well, where what are you going to get?
But as I was doing my analysis for the Spurs preview, I went back and had a look at what United had done. We attempted no crosses in the Leicester game. Attempted, not even completed, but attempted none. In the Brighton game, Luke Shaw attempted 2, 0 completed. Ashley Young attempted 8, 2 were completed, but those were from corners. So open play ones, I think it was 5 and 0 completed. Do you like, if we're putting crosses into the box that are being met by people, this shit changes pretty quickly.
Yeah, but I think the way that you get more successful crosses is if you allow to commit more people to the box. When you look at United, very, very rarely is there more than 2 people in the box on an attacking play.
Pull up the Leicester through ball from Fred. I just want to show you something. It should be in save stuff from live producer because we had it on the preview, didn't we? So this is what I'm about to bring up. This is a through ball that we had from Fred in the Leicester game, and you can see how many people are getting beyond him, how many people are bursting through into space. What happened ultimately was that Sanchez, it'll be on Thursday or Friday. You'll see
lost
it.
Position.
It'll be from me.
He lost possession, sorry.
Yeah, he ended up just heading it over.
Okay, so
they?
maybe that's what they're trying to implement more, having that, someone like Freddie who's better at retrieving the
one
ball.
The one before it with the runs.
In terms of energy. So that is going to take time to do. But Matic will be straight in tomorrow.
I know he trained last week. I don't know how fit he is. Check this out. I think he's struggling trying to do it under pressure.
Oh, he's flapping here, mate.
It'll be one of those ones. I think it's that. Does it say it's that one? That's that one. Yeah, there we go. So it's just come straight on anyway. So as you can see on the ball there, just shrink it a little bit because you can't see Mata on the right hand side. So you can see Mata getting forward into space there. You've got Sanchez getting forward into space. Rashford's making a run. You've got Luke Shaw, and this is Fred on the ball and Pogba right next to him. There, players are getting forward. Players are absolutely getting forward, but we're just not doing it. The final ball isn't there.
But the thing is with that, right? If you're looking at that image as a still, a lot of the teams that we play against don't play a line like that. They'll be on that 18-yard box. When we've got the ball there, they'll be defending the 18-yard box. So there's virtually any little space, and that's the frustrating part because is how do you draw them out? But they know that we're just going to knock it around in front of them and we're not going to create it. It's the movement where you need like. Obviously, when you had Martial playing it, Martial was just stuck on the left-hand side, and then obviously he's been told to stay there.
I don't know if he has been told to stay there, to be honest, because there's also times when you see other players playing there and they're not doing that. Sanchez always likes to drift inside. Mata drifts inside constantly from the right-hand side. If it was orders, he'd have stayed over.
Well, that right-hand side is non-existent, isn't it?
Yeah, although it was more existent in the Brighton game than what it was in the Leicester game.
Is that because of Ashley Young?
No one Mata's positioning was different.
Is it?
Yeah, it was interesting.
It's so sad to see that he's like not great.
Who?
Mata. To think of it, don't want to be.
He's such a lovely player, isn't he? That you think that if you could get him working in like a David Silva kind of role,
but his decline is just he just fell off a cliff.
He's got a touch from God himself, don't he? The other main talking point that we were going to cover is Vincent Tan reckons that Cardiff have got enough to stay up.
Well. Team spirit to survive, but I was thinking, would it be like one of those things where all them kids got trapped in a cave? It'd be similar to that.
What?
I'm not like taking a piss. It's a genuine. It's a genuine thing, isn't it? That's the headline. But
all right, I'm going to.
He might have been referring to that. I've not seen the rest of the article.
I think Cardiff are garbage and they're definitely going down.
They're going down.
I also think Southampton are doomed as well. They've just got nothing about them.
Me.
No, I'm not. My Premier League predictions are out there, son.
I don't watch your videos. Fucking sit next to you.
They're out there. I said Southampton. I think I had Brighton. And then I was like Brighton, but Huddersfield and Brighton could be interchangeable. Brighton look like they've got a bit of fight about them. They look like they're really going for teams. So I think they'll probably end up being safe now.
Got Glenn Mourinho.
Vincent Tan reckons says, what do you guys reckon? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Cardiff have got it about them to stay up?
They're going down, mate.
The rest of the talking points for this weekend then is obviously Wolves snatching a point, and they was lucky to get a point, but they was unlucky not to get a free, to be honest. At times, like they were breaking brilliantly against them.
Yeah, well, I had a little
Adama Traore came on and had Mendy on toast, didn't it?
Yeah. He's so direct. He's so direct. His final ball is not always his decision making.
The two crosses that he put in were decent.
Yeah, he did down there. But that's just a little cameo. I think when you got 90 minutes. I mean, he's
liking the video.
He's obviously he's come from Barcelona, didn't he, originally? And went to Villa, then Middlesbrough, and now.
He's a unit and all. Isn't
he's fucking
absolute
massive.
Unit. Absolute unit.
I thought they played well, and they showed how you could play against City because Company was suspect of quite a few errors. Like you normally. And that's not his forte, bringing it out.
And City scoring from a set piece themselves as well, which was preventable, really.
Because no one marked him. it was a zonal line, wasn't it? And then
the kid who scored, wasn't it? That just got bullied. No, the kid who scored for Wolves just got absolutely bullied in the air from him. He just comes right across him.
Well, yeah, because the thing is when you do zonal, is like you're just looking at the ball, and that's all you are. So you're not told to mark. You're just looking at that.
He come from deep at pace.
He come at the edge of the box, and he's got to run on him. You got to run and jump on anyone from a standing jump. You're going to beat him every time.
We've got nearly 1,000 watching. Keep liking the video, everybody. And remember, we're giving a United shirt away if we get to 60k while we're live on air tonight. We are just over 100.
I guess that's the flip side of playing like a high press or whatever and coming out from the back, is that you're going to get caught. You're going to make mistakes. If teams don't sit off on you and they keep quite a high line, because the midfield four was high.
It was like a 5-4-1 kind of setup from him, wasn't it? I thought it worked really well, effectively, and I think there was Gary Neville on comms. I can't remember. It was Gary Neville. I think it was Gary Neville. Mentioned at times it becomes like a back seven, and the wingers and they really underlapped and they really helped out, because he said at times when it's a back six, obviously for some reason the back six are a little bit more susceptible because loads of teams.
He also said on the wingers in the first half, like, you see how wide they are and they're keeping them there. So
this mic's not sitting right. It's doing me head in.
That impacted the midfield, and he was winning it off in high positions off the midfield, and then you're there, and then they had people who was breaking with pace. That's
why Liverpool do well against them.
Rapid.
But this is why Liverpool do well against them, because they do have that high press. They do look to turn it over on the halfway or in your half, and when they do, because City's got such a high line, you can get in and amongst them. What I always thought United should do against City was, we did it against Chelsea a couple of years ago. You play Rashford, you play Lingard. The mentality of both of them players is graft and work rate and trying to win it there anyway. Naturally, even Sanchez does it to an extent. And I think if you turned it over and you can put a ball into a channel, Marcus Rashford gets there before most human beings.
Yeah.
And then you've got a chance.
Would you give him a try right wing?
I'd love to see him right wing. I'd love to see him right wing. I think he's got a delivery on him.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's not David Beckham, but it's more so than pretty much everyone else we've got. I mean, how much did we miss that guy for the last 15 years? There's no one that can cross a ball like that. Is this annoying? Oh, it's not the mic itself. It's the wire. I keep thinking I'm catching it, and it's doing my own head in. Sorry, everybody. We'll come to the comments in a second and see what you guys are saying. But yeah, Nuno Santo doing bits. I mean, obviously he's been given a bit of a head start by George Mendes. I mean, what an absolute gift that is for Wolves. A super agent like that just goes, you're going to be my new plaything. Hopefully it doesn't completely take the legs out from under him when he decides to sack it off. No. But interesting project.
Yeah, they look really well. I don't think they'll have any problems. I think they're comfortable for maybe 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th, around that area.
Yeah, a lot of people had them like trying to sneak in a top 8, top 7. I think that's a bit giddy, that.
The thing is like, if you score goals and you've got an half-decent back line, you're going to be safe. That's the problem with Cardiff and Huddersfield. They've got nothing. They're just like practical. Is it Sol Bamba who plays centre-half for Cardiff? And you just look at some of the players in their team, and they're just like average Championship players. Yeah, they did really well to get promoted last year, but they've obviously not strengthened in the right areas. They signed that Bobby Reid, who did well against us for Bristol, and you think, well, this is maybe some of that. Can he step it up a level? But
it's such a big step up, though.
Yeah, and then they don't have the support network in play.
There's someone in the comments asking me, like, saying Logan Paul didn't win the fight last night. So obviously I went to the KSI Logan Paul fight.
Internet nerd.
Yeah, full on internet nerd techers. At least I didn't wear sunglasses. There was people wearing sunglasses in the arena. Everyone was vlogging. Logan Paul won the fight. He controlled the first round masterfully. He controlled the second round masterfully. What people need to understand is boxing scoring isn't about damage. MMA scoring is about damage. Boxing scoring is not about damage. It's about clean punches. It's about ring generalship. And both of those was Logan Paul. Hitting with this part of your hand doesn't count. And if shots are parried, they're blocked, or attacks are contained and controlled. Every time that KSI went to attack wildly like this, Logan tied him up. That's ring generalship. That means you're winning the fight. Yes, he was wobbled at the end. KSI just started like swinging for the fences, and he caught him with a couple. Doesn't really matter. In the grand scheme of things, that kind of damage doesn't matter. This is boxing. And boxing is about the skill of being hit and not being hit, and the controlling of where the action takes place. Effective aggression is the first thing that you look at, and effective aggression is controlling the fight, and that's what Logan Paul did very well. I had him winning the first, I had him winning the second for definitely. I had him, I think the sixth was iffy, the fifth I had him winning, and I think didn't KSI get a point taken off him? So all of the chances of a draw, I haven't even looked if it was definite. Did he get a point took off him when he threw him? All right, I thought he got a point took off him. If he got a point took off him, there's absolutely no way it was a draw.
Like a Studio 68 night out?
No, just me, Dave and Jaden went. Geordie sorted us out, so cheers for that, son. For Jaden, really.
My boss went, took his son.
There was a lot of people went.
Well, yeah, it was sell out, wasn't it? Which is fair play, like, to sell out in Manchester Arena, and like whoever paid for it on you, like
from a cultural point of view, you can't ignore what happened.
No.
You can't ignore what happened. I mean, I understand boxing people losing their minds over it, but what you got to remember is, I saw so many children in there that are probably going to have 1% more, at least, interest in boxing than they ever would have. And we snuck into the weigh-ins as well. Don't hold the weigh-ins at Hotel Football and think I'm not getting in, son. I know my place around the back of my hand. So, but there was like 12, 13-year-old girls outside waiting for all these YouTubers to come out. And you're like, 12, 13-year-old girls don't go and hang around at boxing weigh-ins. Doesn't happen.
No.
This is because of a YouTube thing. Because of whatever these guys have done in their past, they've created this massive following. And if they wanted to try lacrosse becomes popular next week. That's the pull that these dudes have got, and you've got to pay attention to it. Whether you agree with it, disagree with it, you have to pay attention and you have to see it. Let's see what everybody else is saying in the comments. I am not talking about that, thank you. What's the latest on Zidane? We will talk about Zidane in a little bit. The next game we're going to talk about then is obviously Chelsea beat Newcastle 2-1, took an own goal to do it right at the death. Jorginho, I think, broke a record for the amount of passes that he's had. Have we got that? He's not even paying attention. Look at him. What is he doing over here? Can we get the Jorginho pass thing, please? Thank you. Is it ready? No, it's not ready. No. So obviously, Chelsea have had a pretty decent start under Sarri.
3 out of 3, innit?
Yeah, it's a pretty decent start. Obviously, took a late OG at the end there.
They was always in control of that game.
I worry for Newcastle in a little bit because I'm not a fan of Rafa Benitez. I really think he's hugely overrated. You look at what all the clubs done pre and post him, and I don't think he's a big spike in ability in all of those clubs. Newcastle are a team that have gone up and down in the past. Yeah. I don't think there's any. No. When you look at like what Bobby Robson did with Newcastle, here we go. So this is what Jorginho did: 154 out of 168 passes. A lot of them are knocking it sideways.
Yeah, because like Newcastle played with a back eight. They were really
that's
like
some serious involvement, isn't it? I mean, is that a potential weak point for Chelsea then? If you're able to, because he is their playmaker, clearly everything's trying.
Everything goes for him, doesn't it? Obviously, he's pushed Kante forward a bit.
Kante's creating chances for these guys.
He pulled that little flick before right at the end, and he just turned it around the corner. Thought, I'd shit my man out there. But yeah, they're gettable as well though, because the way that they play. You can get him round the back of him quite easily, and I think obviously Arsenal shown it. That game could have been, especially in the first half, could have been any score.
Yeah, I think getting a result out there, Newcastle fans going to be a little bit aggrieved with it and all that lot. So yeah, that's the.
Did well to get back into it, but then Chelsea, it weren't a penalty for me either. I think that in terms of, I guess both goals, there was an elbow from Yedelinmonti in Giroud's face, but I don't think it was really intentional. The penalty I thought was a good tackle. He's got the ball. People say, well, fucking Souness and Redknapp obviously know how highly people value their opinion. They were saying, oh, it could have been scissors and stuff, deemed as scissors, but it was like, it was a good tackle.
Russell Ione in the comments says, I wish we hadn't have sold Ravel Morrison. The kid was 10 times better than Fellaini and Scott when he was still a teen. Look, there was obviously a lot of issues. Being a professional footballer isn't just being about able to twist people up. Otherwise, F2 freestyles play for Barcelona, wouldn't they? There's obviously loads more about being a professional footballer, and sometimes the pressure of playing at a club and the professionalism required to play at a club like Manchester United means, unfortunately, it wasn't for Ravel Morrison. I do think there's some players that aren't. I mean, look at Gary Neville, right? what really outstanding features, physical or technical, did Gary Neville have? But he had a football brain and he knew how to use it. He had a good throw-in, yeah.
Good crosser.
He was a good crosser.
Mint on the overlap.
The overlap that him and Beckham peaked together, and there's no coincidence with that. You know, Beckham protected him, and when Beckham went, the decline of Gary Neville was very stark. He was kind of awful from about 2005 onwards, really.
Yeah, but Beckham left in 2003, wasn't it?
So it was a quick decline.
His legs went, didn't they? His legs went.
And then going forward, obviously, with the particular style David Beckham had, where he kind of needed a little second to get his head up, even if it was deep, the overlap and the threat that he posed, Gary Neville, being on the overlap, it was a threat, was probably a really useful duo. Because sometimes Gary would play him in, David would play him in, and sometimes he wouldn't, and that is just enough to whip it in, I think, isn't it? The last game that we're going to talk about before we get into... we're going to talk about Arsenal and how they're doing after picking up a win against Emery. We've then got... we'll talk about Lloris and what's happened there, Zidane, and then we've got our five-a-side video from the other week for you guys as well, and some other stuff to talk about as well.
Shit, how long are we going on for?
I don't know, we'll figure it out. Just mute us a sec. So Arsenal finally win 3-1 under Emery. It was against West Ham, who've been, can we say shite?
I've not seen any of West Ham.
All right, I'll say it. They've been shite.
Actually, I watched a bit against Liverpool. They were shit, yeah.
They've been shite. They've been absolutely shite. Now, they've got a lot of players that need to knit together and all that kind of stuff. And I think Pellegrini's not a terrible coach either, to be honest. But you know what they're like at West Ham. They've probably been in pretty soon.
No, I think they'll give it until October time and see, and then they'll get Sam Allardyce back in, won't they?
I wonder. I think you've got... Has Pardew been there?
Yeah.
All right, so they probably won't go for Pardew again. Steve Bruce might be a shout for them. I'm just trying to think who's in that little... There's like a little wheel that always goes round in here.
Pulis.
Warnock been there? Pulis has probably got a good shout.
Well, Warnock's at Cardiff, isn't
You've got to go... All right, who's Crystal Palace had recently? Roy Hodgson?
Roy Hodgson's signed a new deal, hasn't he?
Yeah, so that'll be...
I can't see him going there. He'll like that. You might get Pulis near the top of the Championship.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. And Steve Bruce obviously doing bits with Aston Villa there, and Tuanzebe, a massive part of that for him. Fair play.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Keep liking the video, everyone. Going for 500, and subscribe if you're new as well. We are literally just under 100 away from giving a shirt away. So if you want to, just over 100 to give a shirt away. So subscribe if you're brand new, and get in the mixer on that one. So. Are Arsenal going to cause a threat to anyone in the top four? Because I didn't think... Aubameyang aside, and it was January, I didn't think anybody they signed in the summer was good enough to really threaten with what they've got.
I don't think they're breaking top four. I don't think so. I mean, it's whether... Obviously, if they're bringing him in, it's been a long time since Wenger. The board will be happy, I think, if they're sitting around 5th or 6th and they have a cup run. I do believe that, and then something to build.
They could do bits in the Europa potentially.
Something to build on. Well, the thing is, the Europa fucks over your league form, doesn't it?
Big time. Michael in the comments says Hughes gets sacked from Southampton and heads to West Ham. Would even they hire him on the back of? I mean,
yeah. Of course they would. Okay. But he kept Southampton up, didn't he? And that looked pretty dire task to do.
Yeah, that's so bad. They've just been stripped.
They've got no attack. I created, when you do on FIFA, because it's just so wank. So I thought, do you know when you used to play on Pro Evo and you did that, I'd become a legend? And you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it on FIFA. Yeah. Never really done it before, so I thought, I'll try it out. So I've signed for Southampton. So I thought I'll get a game there. And now I'm leading goal scorer, centre midfield, Dynamo. Only played 7 games.
All right, okay.
And I just thought, throw that little tidbit in there.
James Almrod, I get the feeling that this is Jose's last payday and he doesn't mind how it goes. I think it's been sort of mentioned before, I think he would absolutely walk away from any other club. I think he's only stuck around under the circumstances because it's United. I could be miles away on that, but that's what
I think so. I think that's why he's changed his demeanour. Like we were saying before, about his positive energy. After that, he's probably Woodward's saying, "Look, fucking sort your napper out."
Yeah, maybe. Or I don't know. There's a lot going on there, isn't there? Reese says, you have to admit the football we're playing at the moment is dog shit. Don't know if that's tactics or the players' ethics. Not sure if he's going to get sacked. I don't think Zidane is the right one. Right, we will talk about Zidane in a second because I want to throw this out to you. This sort of came out this weekend. Lloris gets done for drink driving, but because he's had a bit of a stab at the journalists and he only does, 259 second press conference. Jose, look how big that is. Look how big that is there as a front page of a paper.
No, it's the front page of the sport.
The sport section of a newspaper. And Lloris, Spurs captain, World Cup winner.
French captain.
Is he the French captain as well?
Is he? Yeah, I think he is he?
Drink driving. Days before a game.
Yeah.
But look at this. No, Jose Mourinho had a bit of a mood on him at a press conference. Now, I got a couple of points with this, man. Journalists have gone for him here because he's kind of gone for them. Now, the press conference is a Premier League requirement. He's not required to do 15 minutes, or he probably is, actually. There probably is a time limit on him.
Well, apparently he's there.
Bollocks to him, because you ask stupid questions.
He was there half an hour early, though, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, from what I've read.
They ask bone questions. They ask nonsense questions. They ask about transfers and happiness and stuff.
Start banning everyone.
Get rid of that, Cam. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I would just be starting throwing bans out.
I don't see why that, because it's not very commonplace nowadays, is it? Where managers get fucked off with the journalists and then get him out. Like Fergie's done that.
Well, he reads, doesn't he? Reads the papers, knows who's wrote it, and then he'll say to him, and that's the way to do it. Now, I know this for a fact. Manchester City will phone up journalists and ask you to explain negative City articles. United don't do shit, yeah? And when Fergie went, all those people that were banned, time to get back at him. They've got new shiny toys now in Guardiola and Klopp and all these different managers in Emery. And, yeah, all these guys, yeah, not a target. But Jose Mourinho, because he used to be the shiny thing, and Manchester United, because we're a big target. And was it Martin Samuel that came out and was like, United create clicks?
Yeah, he's saying like you'll never go poor if you write about United.
So for those mishmash of reasons, and things aren't great at United at the moment, but here's the facts. Jose Mourinho's won more at United than Pochettino or Klopp have won combined at their respective clubs. And we finished above both of them last season. Regardless of the style of football, those are facts. But you come into this season, Spurs haven't signed anyone. Klopp has gone against all the morals that he had when he joined Liverpool and just started throwing money around like it's gone out of fashion.
But net spend, they're the net spend kings, Liverpool.
United make more money than every other club, so why is that never factored into net spend? Why is the Kohler deal and the Chevrolet deal not put into it?
United's transfer prices.
Oh yeah, Fred was
62 million.
Phil Thompson the other day on the thing, 900 grand a week.
Oh mate,
what?
Ben knows.
Keep liking the video. We're going for 500. We're on 300. And I said we'll give a shirt away on Monday if we get to 60,000 tonight. It is going up, but we're not there yet. So Zidane then. Zidane's been talking to United's French players and apparently been telling them that he'd like to manage United. It's also come out.
I'd like to manage United.
Have you banged your CV in?
I thought he was going to say have I banged something else.
And apparently he met with United's brass during the summer on the tour. There's been a lot of talk about Zidane, even while he was still at Real Madrid back in February or March. We spoke about this on the Patreon group. If you'd like to know more about that, you'd like to go and see all those videos, check the link below. But we did speak about Zidane all the way back in February or March, I can't remember when, that he was going to be a target for United, which is bananas because that was like 6 weeks after Jose had signed his extension. But there you go. I think there's definitely something in this. Now, he's took up some sort of bullshit role at Juventus. I think there's a good chance that he ends up managing Juventus.
Yeah, because I think Allegri's gone at the end of this year. And then he manages Ronaldo again.
Yeah, and if he doesn't,
because
what if he wins the European Cup again?
Well, I think that's what they're trying to gear towards, aren't they? And because the way that Juventus play under Allegri, they're not like Ronaldo's free to do whatever at Madrid, where I don't think he is in this Juventus team.
He's not scored yet.
It's only been 2 games. He fucked one up yesterday, didn't he? When
I've not seen it.
Mandzukic scored.
I've not seen it.
It kind of there's a bit of a scuffer.
My issue with people that are just going, yes, get Zidane in. He did win 3 back-to-back titles. He didn't have it all his own way in the league. He did win a league. He turned it around from Rafa Benitez. Again, another reason why I think Rafa Benitez is turd. He did have that Real Madrid side, and he was doing nothing with them, and they all hated him. So Zidane comes in, he freshens it up a little bit. He does go and win 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues. There's no fluke. There's no fluke in that whatsoever. And like I said, he won a title in the middle of that as well. But what you've got to remember is, look at that defence. Ramos, Varane, Carvajal, Marcelo. It's about as good as defences come, really, isn't it? Looking at midfield, Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, Isco. It's about as good as midfields come, really, in the grand scheme of things. You've only got Ronaldo up front. He's good for more than a goal every single game he's going to play for you. You got Bale. You got Benzema.
Isco.
He's not trying to do it with Ashley Young and Chris Smalling and Fellaini.
It's probably why he's like, don't spend no money this season, this summer.
Save it all for the big fella coming.
Yeah, and then...
That's my question. The same reservations you can have about any manager. And that's if Jose Mourinho, with the CV that he rocked up to Old Trafford with, can't do it, and all this third season meltdown, look where he had meltdowns. Real Madrid and Chelsea. You tell me who'd last 3 years at any of them clubs in this era. Jose lasted more than anybody else. Do you know who the next person to last the closest to Jose was? Jose! In his previous sitting.
What about Inter Milan? How long was he at Inter Milan for?
I think it was only 2 years at Inter Milan. And then he took the Real Madrid job, I think.
It's not a bad footy manager career, that, is it?
It's a top footy manager career. I try and do that kind of thing. I always try and start in somewhere like Ajax, me. Because you can win the league, but you want to focus on the Champions League, don't you? Go win the Champions League and get a bigger job somewhere. And I never end up getting more than like 4 or 5 years deep on it. But that's just me. So what do you make of it? Zidane, United, think there's something in it?
It keeps popping up, doesn't it, and more. But journalists...
But is it because it's a big name, and we're a big name, and they're like, no one's going to deny it.
They just said, they're there for clicks, aren't they? So if you put Zidane to United, then people are going to read it. But there's never any, official... I hate, they just said a source, and then you quote a source, and it's just made up. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence of that? Do you know what I mean?
Well, they're never going to get people to go on record with any of this stuff, are they? I mean, it's like...
Why write it then?
Certain journalists do not say... are very close to Ed Woodward, for example. So when he says a source within the club, it's very obvious who he's talking to. Sometimes it's not that obvious. That's the way of the world, I think. And that is how a lot of this news comes out now. But it is sad that it's mostly gossip. Do you know what I would love, talking back to these press conferences, why does nobody ever ask him about that? You mentioned the high press United before. Why do United always sit back? Why doesn't a journalist ask him that? A football journalist, yeah? Why don't a football journalist ask a football question like Jose? We've seen you struggled against Brighton because they put pressure on your back line with that high press. Why have you never considered having a high press yourself? You might get a really good answer out of Jose Mourinho. He goes, well, actually, I prefer to do blah, 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 blah. It might absolutely shock him that someone's asked a football question.
Rather than the same tired old bullshit.
Yeah, I've noticed you're actually really narrow and you wanted a right winger. Have you not perhaps thought of playing Marcus Rashford on the right wing? What about that? And he might go, do you know what? We actually are doing a little bit of training with Marcus on the right, but he's not quite ready yet. Yeah. You never know, do you?
Yeah, but the questions that they're asked, I mean, you think how many games a week? You play 2 games a week more often than not, don't you? And it's the same. You've got to have the same pre-match conference, the same post-match conference. It doesn't really differ. And
they go, oh, Joe, have you got anything to say about the negativity? That's probably what I've not seen the press conference yet, but I imagine there was some bullshit questions in there. What have you got to say about the negativity? And he's like, next.
Well, he said things like, oh, I'm not going to speak about my players. It's asked him about, I think, maybe Bailly and Lindelof or whatever. And then he's like, I'm not going to speak about my players. And they asked him about Paul Pogba. He goes, you'll have to ask Paul that. It's just
But that's it, yeah, because you've got nothing good to ask. Yeah. So sweet, I'm doing 2 minutes, 50-something seconds. See ya.
These obligations, what are they going to do? Start finding him? Yeah. For what, though? Not answering the questions fully.
I said to someone at the club the other day, I was like, let me come to the press conferences. I said, I don't even want to ask questions. I'll just heckle the shit journalists at the back. Where he goes, Jose, you've been rumoured to it. He's not going to answer that. Jose, we saw in the press, shut up, you dick. Yeah. Tell me that's not going to make press conferences 100 times better. Or what if I just start throwing empty water bottles at the back of people's heads if they ask a shit question?
Yeah, nonce.
I'll do it for free. I'll do it for absolute free. How about that? Right, we're going to talk about what's happening with a new podcast. It's not new, it's old, but it's new. And our preview of United versus Spurs right after some of the best football techers you're ever going to see. Don't count how many times I get megged. That would be the five-a-side, please, Cameron.
Imagine that winning. Make sure you delete the footage, yeah? Okay, all the outtakes. I think everyone's waiting. Stephen, you're not from out on your channel. Go for it. Delete that shit. Lucky. Stephen, you said mine. Hey.
Thoughts on the game so far?
Much better this half, obviously. Look at this big deal. Look at this. Content. Mad through that, honestly. Brilliant stuff.
Another one.
What's the score now?
Fuck knows.
You'll find it in the camera.
It's going on Instagram.
I couldn't see you.
Fucked up, you're trying to film.
That is brilliant football, if I've ever seen it. Oh, is that Fred? Get down two.
Yes, calm.
And again.
Let's come. To Callum. Beautiful football from Studio 68. Oh, calm. Oh, he's just got one as well. Cam trying it there.
Trying to get Callum's accent.
Brilliant work from Cam. This game, and oh, it's a poor ball, not quite an Abdul ball there. Cam on the ball. Cam loves to think he's a young Lampard, but that was dreadful. Brilliant block there from Stephen Howson. Oh, it looks like.
Keep going!
We're playing up to quarter. Oh yeah, stop. Time. Callum, finish it. It's yours. Oh no. Well done, lads.
Do you know what that reminds me of? 2 things.
Go on, son.
1, that Barclays advert for over 50s walking football. That was about the pace of it. And 2, I reckon blind football's better than that.
If you're an equally shit bunch of misfits, look, we're putting it on the table. We're not pretending that we're fucking great here or anything like that.
Well,
It was also 10-9 as well. Callum, who edited it, clearly didn't add up one of the goals that was in there. Not that it matters, but maybe it matters. Yeah, I got absolutely nailed. I got megged. I'm not as agile as I used to be.
can you touch your soles?
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not pretending that I'm any good, but I'm having a kick about with my mates, and that's what this is all about. If you want to come and play us, you've got a 5-side team in Manchester. We're going to be playing at the pits pretty regular, and it's literally just a social thing, and we're going to film it, probably make them a little bit shorter than that, and we'll get them back in the mixer on here. But yeah, so let's talk about United versus Spurs then. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, all the negativity that's going into it, especially on the back end of Brighton. I expect United to win.
Oh yeah, definitely. I see us beating Spurs tomorrow.
Is it a case of lads, it's Tottenham, or is it a case of what?
No, I mean, you know, we said before how Jose sets up against the bigger teams, and we always seem to find a way. I think we'll do that tomorrow. I don't know how, but I think we'll win. Don't want to really be relying on an 85th minute goal or 82nd minute goal again, where it's looking cagey. But it's going to be cagey. Do you know what I mean? No, well, this is the time for him to go and say, right, go and show what you're made of. Go out and prove why you're better than these. We'll absolutely blitz them, and then we'll get beat up Burnley on Sunday.
Or 0-0 it.
Well,
I reckon it's got a good 0-0 percentage chance. What do you think about going 3-5-2? Spurs have used that a bit this season. I think we look stronger, possibly, if we went 3-5-2. I can see him bringing Smalling back in, go a bit physical up against Harry Kane. I don't want to see Lindelof Bailly broken up just yet, because I think there's something there. It's not worked yet this season. It's not looked solid, but I wanted to ask, who was I trying to speak to? Oh no, someone got a chance to speak to Wes Brown, and I wanted to pass a message on and just say, like, how long do you think a partnership needs, Joe, as games together before you can really start to see it? Like, you can't bin it after one game, you can't bin it after 2 games. If it's not worked in a season, you're going to bin it. But where's the middle ground? Like, where's it? Happy days.
I'll give it a couple of months. That's only the second competitive match that they played together, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, two early.
And the friendly against Bayern. So you don't form relationships over that short period of time.
No real pre-season either, because obviously Lindelof was at the World Cup. So
yeah.
I wonder what sort of part that's playing into us now. Most teams in the top have been affected. Chelsea gone 3 for 3. They had a few players went deep into the World Cup themselves, same as us. We've obviously lost Matic, who's probably a big one for us. But aside from that, we had all our players back, if not fit, really. Certainly for the Brighton game. I don't know. I think the
Matic, Valencia, there's still players to come into that team. Lukaku's still not fit because he looked isolated a lot of the time.
He did look isolated, especially in the second half. For some reason, when we put more players up towards him, he felt more isolated.
Rashford's not playing full games. Lingard's not coming playing full games. You'd have to think, for all the criticism that he gets, Jesse, I think a lot of it's unwarranted.
Big time.
His movement is probably the best movement that we've got in the club, forward movement, and he's what you need to link it all together. Would
you like to see him played ahead of Mata then on the right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Mata's done, mate.
Go with that midfield. I think I thought it was a bit unfair. I thought we would play someone like Herrera away from home rather than Pereira in the 6. I hope he's not seen as a scapegoat, but I wouldn't mind seeing, if there's no Matic, I wouldn't mind seeing Herrera with Pogba and Fred, because I think that's a combative midfield, that, even though there's 2 creative elements to it. I think that's a midfield that can go toe-to-toe. And I wouldn't mind seeing 4-3-3 with Matic, Pogba, Fred, and then Lingard, Lukaku, and let's be honest, it's going to be Sanchez, isn't it?
Well, is he fit, Sanchez?
Well, I'm talking more in general of this weekend.
Why you can't play Sanchez off Lukaku? I think that would be a much better option, to be honest. In games that like, well,
he's not a winger, is he?
No, he's not a winger. He needs to be able to roam free.
Yep.
And just think he would suit that much more better. They're getting in and around box. That's where the movement comes into play, where the defences are static and they're holding the back line. But sticking him out on the left, it's kind of like a dead position, isn't it? Just sticking out on the left.
It almost feels like that's what's happened with Matter a little bit as well. Like, he takes up that role defensively. It takes him an age to get back defensively, which probably means one of the reasons why we maybe aren't as adventurous as we want, because we're like, you're going to get caught down that side because of him. And
he's got zero pace, has he?
Yeah, zero.
That's the problem. But like, how many wide players, whether that be fullback or on the wing, have zero or little pace?
Yeah.
Who are successful? There's not. All the top teams there are flying. They're absolutely rapid.
Pace is killer, isn't it?
Yeah.
People are recruiting on pace alone at times.
Speed kills, isn't it?
Yeah, true story. Now, at what point does Jose have to get over what he's going to see as a bad window? You didn't record this either. Too late now, don't do it now. How long is it going to take him to get over a bad window and just go, right, this is what I'm working with, let's have it? Because he can't sulk forever, because that's going to destroy us this season.
No, I think he'll be over it now.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, he's got to be.
Didn't look like it in the presser. I mean, but that's the presser, I know.
Yeah. But there's all this like saying, oh, press is coming out sullen and everything, but all the players come out and say how positive is, like how it's such a happy camp. Like Gary Neville said on a podcast last week, didn't he? His own podcast. Like, I still speak to people around the club. It's a happy mood around there. So obviously, what you show to the outside world is going to be different.
Righty, we're talking before about a new podcast, or Resurrecting the Thursday Club podcast. I've struggled for ages to figure out what to do with it. And I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to put the Thursday Club and the pizza reviews and all that kind of shit as a Patreon bit of content for everyone. I'm also going to be doing a weekend review just for the guys on Patreon, which will be a discussion, so that'll be live like this, but it'll just be for everybody on Patreon. And we're going to start soon as well with the Premier League previews, which include match footage, because obviously it doesn't get copywritten because we put it on a secret video. And also, I'm going to be doing some Academy Scout reports as well, so looking at some of the goals that have been scored from Academy, and they will go on Patreon as well, because then the video doesn't get flagged. So if you're interested in the Patreon group, you're going to get, on a weekly, probably 1 to 4 videos a week that are going to be going on there. So if you're interested in all of that lot and want to check out what's going on with those, then hit the description, check out the link, and come and join us as a Patreon subscriber. We've got a really active members group on Facebook, which is awesome. It's basically just like a United forum, but there's a couple of opposition fans in there that are pretty cool too. So if you are interested, then definitely come and check it out. But that is it from me. I'm just going to check on if we made it on the subscribers. We are 99 away. We didn't do it. Looks like we're going to get it over there tomorrow. We'll be back after the game. I've not decided who's with us yet. I think it might be Statman Dave if he's sobered up. After the Spurs game in United Review, where we're going to look at all the stats, all the data, all the tactics and stuff like that, and see where it went right, or potentially where it went wrong.
Fucking drowning in your sorrows.
Probably. So thank you guys.
Tomorrow then, isn't it?
It is a late one, yeah. A couple of them have been late ones, actually, with the late kick-off games. So thank you guys for joining us. Go and follow our kid at Badams1983 over on Twitter. You still need to sort out an hip-hop podcast, don't you?
When do you think I've got time, mate?
Get it sorted.
Gotta pay the bills.
And we will see you guys with all the match day coverage tomorrow. I'll be doing a match day vlog as well, which will be out on Tuesday. So check out all of that stuff, subscribe, and get your comments and thoughts and that stuff in below. And I'll see you in a bit. Laters.